Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back.
Angren lies thousands of leagues from the sea. Yet the Imperial fleet looked chiefly to this land for wood, its ashes and oaks ideal for shipbuilding. The lumber was driven down the Yaruga to shipyards in Sintra and Atra. There, day and night, Nilfgaard's fleet grew and grew. So when Meve heard axes steadily hacking, the continual grind of saws, she halted her force and quickly dispatched scouts. Indeed, they found a lumber camp, banners overhead, the great sun blazing upon them. Though not critical to her mission, Meve was nonetheless tempted to disrupt the invader however she could.
The Emperor awaits a mass flow of logs,
Called the Queen, drawing her sword.
but we shall send him corpses! Formation! Follow me!
When the Lyrians rushed forth with a cry on their lips, the lumberjacks dropped their axes. Their black-clad guards, though likewise surprised, formed up and stood ready for battle.
Larvan! Essay to Navin! Lyrian!
Pays late. Again.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Ours is not to reason why.
Left, right, left, right.
Ha!
This could hurt.
Angren's gold is not yours to plunder. Begone!
For Rivia! Fight for the Emperor and you might be freed!
John.
Obedience or the lash! That will do.
Nilfgaard's ranks folded. Soldiers fled in fright, stumbling over felled trees and corpses. The air was heavy with the scent of resin and blood. As she caught her breath, the queen looked about. Hundreds of trees lay cut down in rows. Oak and ash enough to keep the shipyards working till winter. Niamh ordered the lumber requisitioned, yet one of the loggers approached her. A man with a face like old leather, sawdust in his hair.
Good lady, I know you war hard against Nilfgaard. I know you'd keep timber out of their hands, but then see, we won't get paid. We'll see no coin till Sintra's shipyards see lumber. It's what the Blackclads said. I beg you, have mercy. We're simple folk. Been slaving since spring, got families to feed. And hunger looms ever close in wartime.
Okay, so it's definitely fair to pay for this wood, if we are gonna take it.
Niamh looked at the logger's hands. Thick scars, crisscrossed fingers twisted by years of axe work.
This wood I cannot allow to reach Nilfgaardian shipyards.
She said.
Yet neither can I let you go hungry. I shall take the wood and pay you from my own purse.
Blisters on me hands from all this work. Weren't enough the corns on me feet, ye gods. Never ends, I tell you. We'll never finish this blasted work. Work, work, work. And do I see anything from it? Even a measly bloody crumb? Never ends, I tell you. We'll never finish this blasted work. Work, work, work. And do I see anything from it? Even a measly bloody crumb? You've a big heart, my lady. Not many folk like you, especially not in Angren. The land bedevilled in many ways. You've a big heart, my lady. Not many folk like you, especially not in Angren. The land bedevilled in many ways. You've a big heart, my lady. Got blisters on my hands from all this work.
Your Majesty? Are you well?
Yes. Yes, but the stench.
This could hurt.
Give me a time.
Ah!
Obelisk at your command.
Off to the front yet again.
I'm a warrior.
Commissar will hear.
Watch your heads!
Scheiß! In! Zwei!
For the Queen! God save the Queen!
My spirit's willing and how, but these young boots are killing me.
My boots got sand plenty in them.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die. To the last!
Retreat!
I'm coming.
March on! Company! Forward march! Very glad. Retreat! Gloire en Kazer!
Okay, so this will not disappear unless I take it. So let's take it.
Entering the swamp's easy. Trouble's getting out. Entering the swamp's easy. Trouble's getting out. Entering the swamp's easy. Trouble's getting out.
In the distance, Meave spotted a spindle-like shape, which soon proved an enormous, dark obelisk. It stood in the middle of a wetland clearing. Dozens of iron rings dangled from its shaft, clinking and rattling in gusts of wind. Cows, donkeys, and dogs were gathered round the stone, all tied to the rings by ropes. Their hides showed many shallow cuts, seeping blood, festering, drawing mosquitoes in swarms. A number of the animals struggled against their cords, while others, near dead, lay still in the wet, tall grass. Across the clearing, folk emerged from the woods, a handful of peasants with a mule in tow. The beast resisted, stomped and planted its hooves, perhaps sensing its gruesome fate. The queen decided to question the peasants, and soon learned the animals were their sacrifice to the swamp gods.
They're all about, dearie. Very close. Oh, very, very close.
The toothless old woman whispered.
They hide neath murky waters. Can't feed when they hear the drip, drip of blood. The gods look kindly on those what make an offering.
Now, if you remember in the previous episode, we found some druids. And they were talking about some evil in this swamp. Well, this is part of that evil, and if you don't stop all of this, they will attack you later. I mean, the druids will attack you later. So I'm gonna stop this because I like druids more.
I know nothing of your gods,
Began the queen, her nose crinkled in disgust.
but any that demand such grisly tribute are not at all worthy of reverence. What you do to these creatures is savagery. Savagery I can't allow.
Run us off, you can.
Replied the old shrew.
For as soon as you're gone, we'll come back. As ever, we'll come back.
This I know. So I must take care to leave you naught to come back to.
Over the peasants' howls and pleas, Meave ordered the obelisk brought down. Her soldiers gripped the ropes that hung from it and toppled the shaft. As it hit the ground, it shattered into many small pieces.
You say you know nought of our gods?
The old woman's eyes narrowed, her voice grew darker still.
Well, don't you worry your head, sweetie. You'll meet him soon enough. They'll tangle your parts. Sow a pox among you, drive it to madness. Every last one. I curse you, all of you, in Gerdacor's name.
Undisturbed by the Harridan's screamed threats, Meave rode on. But her men whispered long of the curse. It weighed on their minds, poisoned their hearts. Each misstep, misfortune, they saw as punishment for their sacrilege.
May the swamp turn red with your blood! Hail Ingvern Iker! May the swamp turn red with your blood! Hail Ingvern Iker! May the swamp turn red with your blood! Hail Ingvern Iker! May the swamp turn red with your blood!
In Angren, all decomposes, be it dead or very much alive. Rot blights trees, seeping sores torment beasts, and the whole swamp emits the acrid, stifling stench of decay. So when, in the swamp's distant corner, the Lyrians caught whiffs of smoke and roasted meat, they stopped dead in their tracks. The scouts followed their noses to a clearing framed by a palisade. Through the gaps in the posts, they spotted a small fort.
Any banners upon it? Whose do you see?
Asked the Queen.
There aren't none, your grace. Not one golden sun, not one silver lily.
Meve gave the gate a few solid knocks with her shield. Moments later, a dozen armed men appeared atop the rampart. The one who led them wore a beard.
Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Meve, Queen of Lyria and Rivia. At war with Nilfgaard, I ventured into these swamps.
Is there a war on? Hey, that's news. Certainly, but little concern to me. The name's Gimpy Gerwin, and I rule these lands.
Is that so? As conferred upon you by whom?
By me! Angren's a good bit larger than folk think. And no dukes or emperor's fingers stand to reach its every corner. Thus I just up and took this particular nook. Made it mine. So let's parley, Meve. One ruler to another. At the risk of being blunt, I don't care who wins this war. But I want to be in good standing with whoever does. So, I offer you a fire at which to warm your limbs. Also, a place at my table and beds for you to rest. On condition, you pledge to me one very small thing. To respect the sacred laws of hospitality.
So be it. I do solemnly swear before the gods and my ancestors that we shall honor all the laws of hospitality.
Then you're most welcome inside.
The fort was simple, built of logs, covered with thatch. Oh, but inside, it was warm, dry. Hot, steaming dishes were piled upon platters, the tables beneath them bent from their weight. Smiles appeared on her soldiers' drained faces, and Meve's spirits were lifted at last. Gerwin proved a cordial host, and eagerly shared both food and tales. He'd led a mercenary band, and they'd stumbled into Angren, discovered a land unclaimed by any feudal lord. He'd erected the fort, then united the surrounding villages under his very own rule.
The folk here are savage, defiant,
he said, sipping wine.
I keep them on a tight lead for their own good. Elsewise they'd slit your throat first chance they got.
Late that night, Meve went to see if her mare had been dressed. In the stable, she happened on a farmhand. Recognizing the Queen, the man fell to his knees and averted his eyes. Meve noticed a strange object dangling from a rope around his neck. A human hand half rotted to the bone.
What? What is that?
My wife's hand, your grace,
stammered the peasant.
Lord Gerwin caught her sneaking some grub. Scraps, really. Took her and told me to wear it, so I'd remember what happens when...
Meve left the stable without uttering another word. She went straight to the servants' barracks. In the pale glow of her torch, she looked over the peasants, all terrified, all with fresh, bleeding wounds. The Queen felt rage rise inside her.
Oh, man.
The Queen blew her horn. Lyrian soldiers filled the yard. They hastily donned their armor, strapped on their swords. Unsure of Meve's intentions, Gerwin's men likewise stood at the ready, weapons in hand.
Gerwin!
Roared Meve.
Get out here at at once!
The stout mercenary stood at his window, glaring from beneath his furrowed brow.
I don't know what you think you're doing,
He called.
but I kindly remind you of your oath and the laws.
I've seen your laws. You're strict and they're cruel. So your rule will end now. Attack!
I didn't think a queen would so easily break her word.
To arms!
Man, this song is pretty good.
I'm coming. For the Queen! God save the Queen!
Tridem!
Obelisk at your command.
Awaiting your orders.
You did the right thing. We should never turn a blind eye to others' suffering.
You mad? Don't say that!
For the last!
To arms!
Mahjong. Sod it all.
Oh, Lyrian lummoxes.
Don't like this.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Cursed traitors. Nothing personal, I assure you.
Armor won't say.
Sod it all.
Again and again and again.
Remove this pile of manure from my sight.
Lame as he was, Gerwin had been a mercenary. He fought hard, he fought well, yet still proved no match for me. She knocked his axe from his hand, he fell to his knees, then she cleaved his head clear off. It rolled like a gourd and came to rest at the peasant's feet.
You've your freedom back,
Growled Meve as she wiped her sword.
yet do not take it for granted. Nilfgaard is in Angren. The Blackclads will come here too. As long as the golden sun flies over the marsh, you must hide in the woods.
Maeve's force left the fort before dawn. She rode at the fore, lips pursed, jaw clenched. A stain on her honor. She'd broken her word. Apart from all else, it stung on the inside.
We're free. It is the truth. The gods bless you, your majesty. That Gerwin bloke were a monster, milady. A monster. Worse nor a pack of ghouls. Pack? No, worse nor a swarm. 1 month he kept me in darkness. And I only busted a tankard. I'll not stay here. 'Tis an evil place. Rather go with ye, even if I'm to fight Blacklads along the way.
Nice, we've got a new treasure map.
Gonna need 3 buckets of nails and a tub full of pegs.
Meve stood waiting while her scouts cut through the tangled branches and roots that had overgrown the trail through the swamp. Suddenly, a soldier doubled over and began to retch blood. The same symptoms soon afflicted others in her ranks.
A potent poison,
was the medic's verdict. It seemed all those who'd fallen ill had shared a tent. One night, they'd chattered about an obelisk they'd destroyed and the group of incensed peasants who'd cursed them for it. Fearing for their lives, the footman had gone to a local herbalist. She'd brewed them a potion to ward off black magic. Alas, the concoction had proved poisonous, while the herbalist had vanished without a trace. Happily, Isbel concocted an antidote in time to deliver the soldiers from a certain and agonizing death. The mage explained their misfortune had not issued from a dark, corrupt force, but from simple human wickedness. Her calming voice and gentle smile lifted the soldiers' spirits. Trusting in her care, they soon wholly forgot the so-called curse.
So as you can see, Isbel can be pretty helpful if you don't send her away.
Meve rode at the front, her eyes fixed on the ground, and thus spotted the pit masked by leaves and branches. She tugged hard on her reins and steered her mount to the side. Alas, the cavalryman behind her did not follow her lead. Leaves rustled, boughs snapped, and the horseman crashed to the pit's bottom, snapping his neck. Moments later, it was clear who'd set the trap, when the forest came alive and a cry rang out.
It's a trap! Rally to me!
coin never stinks, no matter how rank the pouch.
We'll catch them all!
Hey, gloire! God save the Queen!
Is that why?
Oh, Lyrian lummoxes.
To thee, ni gloire! This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads. Zweifel!
Rabbit the white of an eye from our bully away.
Oh, could murder a pint.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting.
Ennard Fane! Retreat! Fall back!
Caught between Lyrian hammer and Skellig stone, Nilfgaard was shattered, destroyed. The victors now stood eyeing each other. These islanders were not like those Meve had met before. They wore no armor and carried no shields. At their fore stood a man as stout as an ox and bald as an ancient ghoul. His men called him Arnulf, the patricide.
I thank you for your aid, Arnulf,
said Meve, extending a hand.
Aid, she says. Aid? Do you hear that, mates?
The Skelligers exchanged glances, then erupted in roaring laughter.
Not here to help yous, not at all. We're after killing.
Join me and you shall have your fill.
Join nuisance? Just who the hell are you?
Meve, Queen of Rivia and Lyria.
Meve?
Arnulf said, his tone sobering.
I know the name. Lippy Goodman called ye bold, praised your courage to the high heaven. So be it. We'll follow you into fire, wench. Just let us taste of blood.
Grant us a death worthy of heroes!
Meve couldn't help but smile, then nodded to accept. The Lyrians stepped aside as tattooed warriors joined their ranks.
So, if we invest some wood, we can get some gold. Oh, if we actually have Gabor, we can get even more gold for less wood. Cool!
The scouts rode at the fore, with Meve right behind them. Their task, to find safe passage for the rest of the force. One among them probed for the quagmire's depth, a pole of 5 ells in hand. Suddenly, all heard a loud clang. The scouts dismounted, then heaved a bronze statue from the mire. Once it was cleaned of slime and muck, Meve instantly recognized its elven handiwork. The sculpture was exceedingly well preserved, save one detail. Someone had removed its face, leaving a black hole in its stead.
Search the environs,
ordered Meve. Amongst some brambles, they discovered the entrance to a vast tomb. Its doors had been torn open. On the ground before them lay scattered bones, some yellowed with age, others fresh, cracked and tattered from having been gnawed. Niamh stood silent and contemplating at the tomb's threshold. Then, torch in hand, she entered and waded into fetid waters. Her soldiers followed close, arms at the ready, a nervous sweat on their brows. Frescoes on the tomb walls depicted Angren swamps and the beasts that prowled them. 2 words were inscribed over the largest of the horrors: Vfxone.
The bloody mistress!
Barnabas Beckenbauer whispered. Suddenly, a roar thundered from deeper inside the tomb. Niamh turned from the frescoes to see monstrous eyes blazing in the dark. Even Ake's normally steely mien betrayed a raw, consuming fear.
To me! Will not die this day!
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads. Give me a target.
It's so dark and wet. Why is it everywhere we go is dark and wet?
Obelisk at your command.
I'm coming.
Left, right, left, right.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
I think that's the last of them, but keep your weapons at the ready.
In her torch's feeble glow, the Queen examined the beast's corpse. She could not help but to shudder in disgust.
Perhaps it's better,
She thought.
that we faced it in the dark.
At the corridor's end, they found a closed door. Before any could draw near, it opened with a crash. Beyond lay a circular room. Light shone through a hole in the chamber's ceiling, illuminating a stone pedestal and the sword that lay upon it.
The air in here, it crackles with magic,
whispered Isbel. Niamh gripped the blade's hilt. A soothing warmth filled her arms and spread across her shoulders. Her tired muscles ceased trembling. Her fingers, stiff as sticks, relaxed. She brandished her prize, the air hissing as the blade sliced through it. She then nodded approvingly. The reward had been worth the risk. Barnabas Beckenbauer, a gleam in his eye, asked to look at the unsheathed sword. The gnome studied the quillions intently, having spotted an inscription there.
Can you say what's written there?
Asked Meve.
Yes, perhaps. They're clear, the words. Their meaning, not necessarily so. Wieldeth me, and loseth not hope amongst the blood-red waters.
It sounds like a riddle, but I've no wish to solve. We should move on, and quickly so.
Give me a time. Obelisk to your command. I'm a war sir. One bolt.
One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Give me a time. Obelisk to your command. I'm a war sir.
Beware! The bloody mistress despises those who kill her servants.
Ugh, we're only winter here. Swamp'd freeze over. Kill the skeeters dead. Milady, you've a tick behind your ear. Looks he's about to burst. Ugh, we're only winter here. Milady, you've a tick behind your ear. Looks he's about to burst.
Nice, another piece of a card. Let's see. We can get wood for gold and gold for wood. I'm gonna take the wood because that's all that I need for my upgrade. Let's get it. And officially we have bought everything. So this camp now looks pretty cool.
Your Grace, the charts say we near Tusley.
Angren renders charts helpless to show the way, I fear. Soon we shall halt to sight our exact position. We will know then if our path is true.
As you wish, Your Grace.
Okay, now wait. There should be another treasure here. Oh, this is not it. Let's see. Is it here? Nah. There it is. And we will continue this in the next episode, so if you liked this one, give it a like, dislike if you think it sucked, and see you next time. Thank you.